Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're on the website of Gardiner Houlgate Auctioneers based in the UK. We're going to have a look at their latest auction, which is guitars. So if you've watched this channel before, you'll know that Gardiner Houlgate usually do quite a few auctions all in one go, usually 3 guitar auctions and 1 general musical instrument auction, and this time it's no different. So this is the first of 4 auctions I'm going to cover. This particular one is finishing on the 14th of June. It's guitars and also some memorabilia stuff. There's about 7 pages of guitars, and then it's some memorabilia stuff that we're going to probably ignore. But yeah, it's a massive auction. I think Gardiner Houlgate, arguably one of the largest guitar auctions in the world. Really quite a big one. Heritage in the US is another big one, but Gardiner Houlgate could take the crown. It is really quite a huge auction. So yeah, we're going to have a look through this basically. I'm just going to take a brief overview because there's so much stuff that if I was to cover everything, it would take hours and hours and everyone would be bored. So I'm just going to go over it, and if there's anything I think is interesting, I'm going to look at it. I'll put a link in the description, check it out, see what you think yourself, and yeah, really just dig into it, because if you like guitars, wow, this is an amazing auction for you because there's some really great stuff. Me personally, I think having so many lots is not really great, and when we see the other auctions that I might cover in the next few days, it gets even more. I think the next auction has like 800 lots. That's a crazy amount to me. I think it's almost too much. I would suggest splitting the auction into different kind of parts of the year, but that's my opinion anyway. So let's kind of get on, and I'd just like to say this is a UK based auction, so bear that in mind if you're trying to bid on something and you're not from the UK. If you're in Europe, somewhere in the world, bear in mind import export stuff, CITES restrictions, all that stuff with like materials that are kind of protected, ivory, tortoiseshell, all of that kind of stuff. And also, if you enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing or like or comment, because it really does help quite a lot. So that's enough from me. Let's go on to the auction. And just a reminder, this one finishes on the 14th of June. It's about the 9th today, so you've got a few days left to go. We're just going to take a brief overview. So we've got some Fender instruments here. Some people are bidding already, some things not bidding as yet. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got a 2006 Fender Custom Shop 1955 Precision Bass Relic here, 1800 to 2200. So a modern custom shop version of the 1955 Precision. I'm sure that will probably be quite popular. We've got some other things here, obviously. Let's see what else we've got, if we see anything interesting. Got a 1978 Fender Music Master here, 800 to 1200. You can see that Gardiner Houlgate usually give pretty good description of condition, etc. like that. I won't get into that so much here unless it's something really interesting, but just so that you're aware. If we see anything else pretty crazy, let's have a look at this. We've already got some bids on this one. 1967 Fender Mustang electric guitar, USA, blue finish, really nice blue actually. Lacquer checking blemishes, dings and marks. There's a video demo as well. Actually, Gardiner Houlgate have a really good YouTube channel for the guitar stuff. They do some really great demos, so I would definitely recommend, if you watch this channel and you haven't looked at the Gardiner Houlgate YouTube channel, definitely check that out because it is pretty cool. A few more interesting Fenders here, Telecasters, some basses, a composite Fender Precision bass, interesting. Let's have a look at this. 1960 Fender Precision bass guitar, made in the USA, 3,000 to 4,000 the estimate there. That's interesting. CITES certificate there, A10, so bear that in mind. All the CITES restrictions and import export, depending where you live in the world, you might find it difficult to import stuff with certain materials in. Let's see if make sure we haven't missed anything here. 1989 Stratocaster Plus, they're quite interesting actually. 1000 to 1500. Let's have a look at these. I'm not sure if these are these lace sensor pickups maybe on these ones. Interesting kind of like locking nut there. Can never remember exactly what the pickups are in these ones, if you remember, definitely post a comment. Right, 1963 Fender Esquire, 6 to 8,000. It's quite a nice looking guitar, that. More information available there, more pictures. Gardiner Houlgate are pretty good. They'll tell you kind of what's going on here. Electrics working, although extremely low output, which requires investigation. Okay, so it could mean that the maybe there's something wrong with the pickups or something. So interesting. A few more modern Fenders. Oh, interesting. A Fullerton era Strat from the 80s after a 62 1500 to 2000 there. Let's see what else we got here. Some custom shop stuff here. John Cruise Master, more John Cruise ones, one of the really top end custom shop guys there. So another one of the custom shop guys here. JW Black, Eric Clapton one, 4 to 6. Got some really nice instruments in this sound. Look at that, look at the wood on that, that's really good, really quite nice. Let's see what else we've got here. 1973 left-handed, 3,000 on that. I think all the left-handed guitars always have a bit of a premium to them. Nice original example and sold with a packing slip addressed to Norman's Rare Guitars. Okay, interesting. That's curious. No, that's an interesting colour here. 1977 Fender Stratocaster left-handed with the big headstock there in the 70s. Really nice colour actually. Refinished body, seafoam green refinish. I was thinking that looks slightly uncommon colour. Right, 1962 Fender Stratocaster. I was going to say that must be refinished because it looks a bit in too good condition there. 3 to 5,000 the estimate there. Well, that's interesting, isn't it, that you could potentially get a 60s Strat for fairly decent money. Consigned from a deceased estate of guitars and equipment of this period. Condition as per description. Heavily modified as stated. Finish appears to be recent, appears to be poly. Wow, that's really quite unfortunate then, isn't it? Looks like that's been messed around with a bit, but if you're interested in Fenders and vintage guitars, look into that a bit more detail. Interesting, one of these rosewood Telecasters here. Loads and loads of Fenders here. Like I said, I'm just going over this briefly. You can kind of see I'm scrolling through what's available in case you want to look in the future. Let's have a look at this. We've got a Bill Puplet completed custom precision bass guitar. Okay, with a Fender AVRI neck. Interesting. Let's see what else. Right, 1966 Fender Jazz bass. Formerly owned by Warren Livesey, and the case bearing a stencil Warren Livesey 20 jazz bass to the outer. Tolex. Okay, interesting. Best to read all of the blurb about what might be original and what's been replaced, but we won't get into that now. Let's see what else is here. Interesting, some custom build stuff going on here. Let's see what else. Lots and lots of Fender stuff here. Really crazy auction. This is quite nice looking one. Fender 2012 Modern Player Nashville HSS. Quite like that. Interesting, made in China. Curious. A few more bits here. Let's go on to the next page and see what else we've got. Right, looks we're on to Gibson now. So Fender's gone. Time for Gibson. Let's see. 2002 Gibson Custom Shop Class 5 Les Paul. Okay. Unusual finish for the Class 5 model being matte copper. Whilst Gibson have not been forthcoming with precise details for this guitar, previous correspondence with the vendor and Gibson have been stated as follow. I bought this guitar back in 2006. At the time, Gibson were a lot easier to contact and you could actually get through to the custom shop by phone. I spoke to a guy about it and questioned the Class 5 designation, as those all seem to be highly figured tops. I'm sure he told me that they also use the Class 5 designation for specials that did not fall into the normal production models. I asked him how many had been produced and he searched their SKU codes, taking the one for mine as a basis. He came back with 6 having been produced by Yamano, 2 black, 2 silver, 2 copper. Presumably they were all in this strange matte finish, which I later wondered might have been a forerunner to the VOS finish. Mine showed as having been supplied to Russo Music in New Jersey, dispatched 8th of October 2002. He could not explain why it had not gone to Yamano. Okay, interesting. 2.5 to 3,000, so pretty interesting colour on this guitar. Yeah, curious looking one. I'm pretty sure that if you're into guitars, you probably follow the Trogley's guitar show, and he knows everything about Gibsons and Fenders and all the limited runs, all that stuff, way above what I would know. This is not my main avenue. I just like weird stuff, but I'm happy to have a look at everything. 1972 Gibson EB3L bass there, 1200 to 1500. I'm sure that Trogley will definitely do a video on this sale. If he's not done one already, he probably has, I just haven't seen it. So some custom shop Joe Walsh stuff here, more custom shop stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Nice Gibson Firebird V there, 1000 to 1500. I do like a good Gibson Firebird. Some more custom shop stuff here. It's quite nice. 2011 Gibson Les Paul Studio 60s tribute there, 5 to 700. I quite like that. Got some custom shop acoustics here. SJ 2000 American Walnut, 2.5 to 3.5. Never been super kind of into Gibson acoustics, I must be honest. A few more Gibson things here, more acoustics. Let's see what else we got here. 1961 Les Paul Jr. 3 to 3.5, sorry, to 5.5 there. Guitar appears to be in original condition with the original semi-case. Case handle missing, finished with some flaws, blemishes that can be seen in photos. The control knobs appear to be repro. Neck has a typical flat 61 profile. Okay, interesting. Let's see, and there's 3.5 bid on that already. This is nice colour. 2021 Gibson Custom Shop Murphy 64 SG. Nice, 3 to 4 estimate on that. In excellent, visibly unplayed condition. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Interesting 2001 Studio there. Slash collection. Some more slash collection stuff going on here. The SG Supremes. I really did like the Supremes. I think this is not my favourite of those ones, but interesting enough. 1500 to 2.5 there. Custom Shop Flying V. 1961 Gibson Les Paul Custom SG body, before Les Paul withdrew his endorsement of the SG. Interesting, 5 to 7. Not my colour really for guitars, but interesting to see it. 1970s Gibson Les Paul here. Interesting stripped finish on that. Okay, more studios, Gibson Studios here. One of these kind of older SGs. 1973 Gibson SG3, very kind of plain, kind of raw guitar there, 4 to 600 in the estimate. Let's see what else we got here. Some hollow bodies, 335s. Let's see what else we've got. Gibson J35. Let's Derek Truck signature. Let's see. Oh, nice one in the Sonics. 1983 Sonics 180 electric guitar. Interesting pick guard on that. That's kind of curious. Wonder what it says about that. Replacement locking strap buttons. Replacement pick guard, I was going to say. I didn't think that they came with that kind of a pick guard. 2016 Gibson Flying V faded. Fairly standard, but nice enough. 2012 modern kind of reissue there. Interesting old Gibson tenor guitar there. 1000 to 1500, circa 1931. It's quite a nice one. 2010 Gibson Les Paul Studio Tribute electric guitar. Right, Gary Moore signature here. 2.5 to 3000. 1997 Gibson Ace Frehley signature. 3 to 5. Some more acoustics there. Another Fender appearing there. Martin acoustic. I think we can move on a bit. Let's see what else we got here. Whole load of Martin acoustics. See if there's any interesting ones. This 1959 D18. 4 to 6. Case bearing a stenciled Terry and Jerry, thought to have been used by or with the pop duo. Okay, interesting. Ooh, 1928 CF Martin 028K. That looks in pretty good condition. I wonder if it's been restored recently. 4 to 6. Ivory submission. All Koa. Wow. Generally very good for age. Yeah, it looks really good for its age. That's a nice looking guitar, that. Very nice. Really, really nice old Martin there. That's a great guitar. Very nice indeed. 1971 Martin there. Let's have a quick look at that one. 16 NY, left-handed conversion. Interesting. Let's see. Tertz acoustic there. That's curious. Martin here. Let's see what else we got here. OM42. I always quite like that model. I think it's quite nice. Let's see what else. 12 string. Anything else? Selma McAferry. We saw one of those in another auction recently. 10 to 15. The Gypsy Jazz acoustic guitar, purchased by the vendor in 1988 from a UK dealer. These are super popular. Make really good money. Always seemingly in demand by players. Interesting. That will definitely sell well, I would assume. Let's have a look at this 1996 Fender 50th anniversary guitar. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Nice 1996 Epiphone Emperor. Quite like the back on that. It's quite nice. What else we got here? 1959 Hofner. I do like the Hofners. This looks kind of interesting. Parlor guitar. W.A. Cole acoustic guitar, made in USA, circa 1900. 3 to 500. That's quite nice. Let's see. Tony Revel small bodied electroacoustic there from 1993. A filed good fellow. That's a good make. More Epiphone stuff here. Aria, Dobro stuff. Blue Ridge. This is all fairly stuff. 2004 Paul Reed Smith. Santana 3 electric guitar. 1200 to 1600. Not really my thing. Rickenbacker bass there. Levinson blade. Remember Levinson stuff was pretty good. Framer stuff. Strongberg. Some Gretsch country classic 2 there. Faith Patrick James Eggle signature. It's interesting. One of those Minoric guitars. Interesting. Silver tone bass from 1961. I don't know if I've seen one of these before. Don't recall having seen. I know the silver tone guitars quite well, but I don't remember seeing a bass before. It's quite interesting. 5 to 800 on that. Yamaha acoustic here. Recording King. No, a Levinson blade there. I thought these used to go for a lot more money, some of these Levinson blades. Maybe this is a kind of lower tier one. Share Gold Custom. These are pretty odd looking things. Hofner Senator thin line. That's interesting. Hofner Committee. I really like these. I think these are great. 6 to 800. Look, amazing headstock on it. Really, really cool. Yeah. Wow. Look at that bird's eye back. That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm a big fan of some of these Hofners. I think they're really, really great. Really nice. Right, at 1946 Levin. That's nice. 2.5 to 3.5. Yeah, proper Swedish made. Look at that. Beautiful headstock on that. That's a really nice guitar. I think this might be a good guitar for part of the thumbnail. That really is something quite beautiful. Really, really nice example. That looks in great condition. Generally good repairs to pickguard. Yeah, that's very nice. Really, really nice looking guitar that is. Starting bids at 2,000. Really, really nice. I like that quite a lot actually. Right, what else do we have? Godin, good old Canadian stuff. Another Hofner Committee, really nice. Hammer, 1978 Hammer. Some of the Hammer stuff's pretty good. These are interesting. I don't know what. I've not seen these before. Andrew EGS. Never heard of these before. Don't know what those are. Look a bit curious. Andrew's Star Maker bass. Interesting. Good old 1960s Hofner Club. I had one of the Hofner reissues. Really great guitar. I just sold it in the end because I had too many guitars. But really do like these Hofners. I don't understand why the Hofners are so cheap mostly. I think they're great. Really great guitars. I like them a lot. Ibanez bass, Gretsch Harmony, etc. So we'll just go through Westone Thunder 3. Curious. Let's see a couple of Gretches here. Nice Dan Electro Longhorn. They're pretty cool. Some Epiphone stuff here. See if there's anything. 1961 National Resophonic Resonator. Nice. 800 to 1200. Sold with an original National Resophonic guitar catalogue showing this model, along with the original pack of National guitar strings in box and a tuner in case. Awesome. That's cool. I do like some of these Nationals. They're really nice. Probably not my favourite model, this one, but definitely nice looking. 70s Yamaha there. Taylor Custom 12 string. 1200 to 1800. Nice Koa on that. More Taylor here. Left-handed Parker. Quite like some of them. Let's see. Paul Reed Smith from 1991. Interesting. I swear that the price of some of these is really a lot less than they used to be. Used to really must be quite out of the loop, I think. This is pretty bonkers. What on earth is this? 2 to 3,000. British custom guitars Shine On. Made in Sheffield. Tony Tomlinson, former Ace Tone guitars. Cast alloy skeleton body. Okay. British custom guitars were the brainchild of Tony Tomlinson, who had been designing and making guitars for over 25 years using minimal tools and very little machinery. This guitar is sold with an original British custom guitars brochure, which features the guitar on the centerfold. Guitars by this maker have been sold in excess of 10,000 in the past through various exhibitions, including Harrods of London. Okay, interesting. Curious looking thing, isn't it? Yeah, pretty bonkers looking. Well, if you want a statement piece, that's possibly an option for you. Another Hofner Committee there. Squire, Takamine, Santa Cruz acoustic there. Interesting. Some other stuff. Taylor's. Let's have a look at this. 1977 Gurion Jr. acoustic guitar. Interesting. Sold a letter from the maker to the original owner. Okay, not a maker I've heard of before, but it looks interesting. Fibonacci guitar there. Rickenbacker. Zion the 90 thin line electric guitar. I tell you, I'm really quite out of the loop with guitars these days. 1000 to 1500. I do not know what's going on here. Interesting. 2005 John DeGay 12-string electroacoustic. Curious looking model there. 800 to 1200. John DeGay is a British luthier. He had close association to Tony Zamatis. Okay, having known each other for over 35 years. During that time, he helped Tony with various projects and specialist services, including polishing, engineering, wiring, electrics, and even guitar case making. This close relationship with Zamatis gave John a fantastic insight on how Tony worked. John was given permission by Tony's widow to make guitars in the style of Tony Zamatis. Okay, interesting. That's pretty curious. That's curious. 1980s Eco Chetro fretless acoustic bass. That's pretty cute. Squire Floyd Rose series. That's quite curious. See what else we've got here. Some Epiphones, some Ibanez, good old Gordon Smith. Nice to see a Gordon Smith there. David Oddy, acoustic kind of parlour there. David Oddy, Weisenborn. Interesting to see a Weisenborn around. Another Weisenborn there. Lots of David Oddy stuff here. Have a look at this Les Paul guitar. Sold on behalf of the David Oddy estate. Said to be the only solid body guitar that he ever made. Okay, interesting. Faith guitars there. Peavy's T40 bass. They're quite nice. George Benson. Nice Ibanez George Benson there. Right, a 1933 Selmer Orchestra jazz guitar made in France, bearing an R.J. Elwood restoration label from 2007. 4 to 6 on that. It's an interesting one. Some other kind of jazz style guitars here. Tokai Love Rock. Nice double lap steel there. Squire, right, Fender. Early K guitar there. The Paul Reed Smith. Well, that's an interesting G&L guitar there from 1982. A very curious model. 1980s Dayon. Another Yamaha there. Burns Bison. Patrick Eggle Vienna Pro 4 to 600. I swear that these are kind of going down in value a bit as well. Stromberg again, another Squire Indie. Dobro, Schecter, the K guitar. Let's see, David Duncanson, interesting. Let's have a look at that. Handmade by a skilled amateur with some guidance from renowned luthier Vince Hockey. Okay, interesting. Godin A5 Ultra there. Nice 1979 Guild B301 bass. That's a curious one. Rickenbacker there. See, Peerless, Frameless. Some good old 60s stuff. Vox Bassmaster. Tysco. Broadway. These are pretty bonkers. 150 to 200. Untested. These are just mad looking things, really. I think I've picked up a few of these things or played them, tried to play them in the past. I don't think they're the greatest instruments to play. So curious stuff from the 60s here. Apollo Deluxe. Bruno Royal Artist. Pretty bizarre. Burns Vibra Artist. Okay. What's this? Let's have a look at this oddity if the internet will allow us to look at it. Interesting acoustic guitar bearing a maker's label inscribed Maker George Schnook 1942. Okay, it's pretty bizarre. Looks like an amateur made guitar, but curious enough. Interesting archtop acoustic guitar. Let's see what this is about. Once again, we're getting a little bit tired with the internet here. For some reason, it does sometimes just decide to completely go funny on us, but let's have a look what's going on here. Okay, so an interesting archtop guitar branded Mastercraft by Paramount Instruments Limited. Pearl to the head, and that's quite curious. 2 to 300. Let's have a look a bit more detail. Yeah, quite an interesting guitar, that. Fairly curious for sure. Definitely an interesting one. Right, so what else do we have? Epiphone Sheraton there. Ibanez Music Man. 2017 Supro Coronado 2, interesting. Epiphone Masterbuilt there, 2017. Ibanez Premium Gem. That's quite an interesting K archtop there. Yamaha from 1998. Let's see what else we've got here. 2021 Epiphone Wildcat. Watkins Rapiers here. Another Burns. Let's have a look at this one actually. Burns, the Marvin 1964 electric guitar circa 2007. So one of the reissues there. Interesting vintage tenor archtop. Curious F-holes on that. 2 to 300. Some Epiphone stuff. Takamine. Another Taylor even. Greco guitar there. Fernandez from the 70s. Another 70s Greco. Arbiter. Well, we're really seeing everything. This is pretty curious. What's this? Vox VSS1 Starstream electric guitar. Don't know if I've seen one of these before. Maybe I have. Looks pretty curious. Let's see what else we got here. Well, that's quite a curious looking one. 1970s CMI branded Ned Callan Salisbury electric guitar made in the UK. 150 to 250. Electrics working. I quite like that. That's pretty bizarre. I definitely don't recall seeing this before. What a weird kind of hybrid of an SG and I don't know, like a Telecaster or something else. That's really pretty odd, but I quite like it because I do like odd. 1980s Aria Pro 2. These are pretty nice. 2 to 400 there. Fret King Trevor Wilkinson. 1982 Ibanez. That's quite nice. SB70. It's quite a nice guitar. Wow, interesting one here. 1970s Gibson GS1000 made in India. Wow, that's pretty mad. One of these crazy Yamaha Samurai things. Interesting. One of the more kind of these Chapman guitars. 2012 one there. Ovation. Squire, Charvel, Jackson, Aria, Fender stuff, Guild. Let's have a look at this 2009 Galato Django acoustic guitar. Okay, 4 to 500 on that. More Fenders. 1996 Fender Kurt Cobain Chagsnow, 6 to 800. Let's see what else. What's this? 2011 Turner guitar. Okay. 1970s Sumbro SG type. Some Epiphone. Rickenbacker. Another Levinson blade. Quite a few Levinson blades in this. Eastman. Another Fender. And Paul Reed Smith there. Edwards by ESP. Burns New Sonics, a couple of those. Ibanez Iron Gear from 2017, 7-string. Another Gordon Smith there. 1980s Fender Precision bass there, 1000 to 1500. See what else we got here. Sterling by Music Man. Oh, 1978. Filed Orsino, made in England. That's interesting. That's a fairly early-ish one, isn't it? I don't know when they started, but 1978, that's fairly early. Tom Anderson. No, I haven't seen a Tom Anderson for quite a while. 1500 to 2000. Nice, from 2006. No, 1986 Gordon Smith Gypsy 3. 300 to 500. Good old Parker PM20. I always wanted one of these actually. 250 to 350. Quite a nice colour on this one. I think these look really cool. I think this is after the takeover, isn't it? These are the budget kind of models, but I quite like those. Right, 2022 Collings I-35 LCV semi hollow body, purchased new by the vendor in April 2023. Okay, well that was a quick turnaround there. The Collings stuff is definitely really good. Fret King Corona 1987 Guild X170. Interesting. 2013 Fender Wilkinson Johnson. Oh, 1980 John Shaw acoustic there. Interesting model there. Interesting inlay. Okay. 700 to 1000 on that. Levinson blade again. Well, lots of Levinson blade stuff in this auction, so that's curious. Guild. That's a nice 1977 Fender Jazz bass guitar. 1500 to 2000. 2007 Peerless. Fret King Esprit. More Fret King stuff. Finn Panton, I don't know what that is. Is that like a budget make or something? No idea. From the estate of Finn Panton of the punk band Menace. Oh, okay. Interesting. Hofner Very Thin from 2005. Interesting. Oh, I see now there. Yeah, Epiphone, Tanglewood, etc. Yamaha. The name is afterwards. Curious. It's quite interesting. Got a few amps going on here as well. Okay, a Marshall amp there, a newer one, and one of these Park ones. What's this? Nile Rodgers. We saw the Nile Rodgers sale. Is it from this? In the US? Is it Christie's? I think was the Nile Rodgers sale. 4,000 to 5,000 there. Nile Rodgers owned and autographed 2007 Gibson Les Paul custom electric guitar there. X Lot 38, the Niles Rodgers collection to benefit the We Are Family Foundation. Christie's, there you go. That was my memory. I didn't look this up, I promise. So I do remember some things, so that's good. Yeah, I've got a video on that sale somewhere. Really interesting sale actually. We went through everything on that, so that was a good video. Chris Rea, studio used and played 1976 Fender Hardtail Strat 5 to 10. Chris played this guitar in E-tuning. Okay. Purchased new by Chris Rea from Hampton's Music Store in Middlesbrough circa 1977. Okay, interesting. Chris then gave the Stratocaster to Dave in August 1980. Okay, interesting. If you're a Chris Rea fan there. Another Chris Rea interest thing. It's that 1975 Gibson Les Paul. I wish that they would kind of change the way that they lay out the labelling of these lots so you could actually see what the full thing is without having to click on it. Rick Parfitt and Johnny Halliday own 1975 Gretsch White Falcon. Wow, that's pretty bizarre. 5 to 10,000. Rick Parfitt and Johnny Halliday. Okay, interesting. Purchased by Dave Burton in 1983 from Rick Parfitt of Status Quo. Okay, that's curious. Okay. So this is all Dave Burton collection photographs. So Johnny Halliday with the Gretsch White Falcon electric guitar during the 1970s, and it's thought that this is the same guitar. Okay, so it's not definitely known, but that's pretty curious. Pete Townsend, The Who, owned and used 1989 at Takamine electroacoustic, formerly owned by Pete Townsend of The Who. and one of many Takamine acoustic guitars that were used during his early endorsement period between 1986 and 1993. Okay, interesting. We won't read all the blurb on that, but you can have a look at it yourself. John Entwistle, Sun Coliseum amp. Nice. Some of the Sun amps are really great. Really good stuff. John Entwistle used Sun amps extensively from 1971 onwards with the Who and Ox. Okay, interesting. I think Fender bought Sun, didn't they? I can't remember. And then famously their logo, which is like Sun with this kind of O, became the kind of name and logo of the kind of the drone kind of post metal, whatever you want to call them, band Suno. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, curious amp. I think the Sun, the really original Sun amps are quite sought after, really, quite valuable, but also Who interest as well. Edge U2. Let's have a look at that. Advert used 1977 Fender limited edition American vintage 52 Rishi Telecaster there. Sold with provenance. U2 song Vertigo was launched in television commercial for the iPod U2 special edition. Okay, that's kind of controversial. Zombies autographed Yamaha Pacifica there. Paul McCartney autographed Hofner High Series B bass violin 2-3. Let's see what else we got here. Status Quo autograph stuff, and I think actually that's it, because I think the rest of this stuff, the rest of these 3 pages is just it's kind of memorabilia things, which might be interesting to some people as well. And there's some other like Gibson related documents and things which are probably really interesting to some people. It's a little bit out of our remit, but yeah, so this is the first auction. Like I said, there's going to be 3 other videos, so watch out for those coming soon. Some really interesting stuff, actually. Not a bad auction. I quite liked it. I think if I have to choose something, I'm not sure what page it was on now, but maybe it was like 5 or 4. But this, I think it was this Levin Archtop, I think, was pretty spectacular, really. Wherever that was, I completely lost it now, but that was a great looking guitar, and I think that's probably my favourite. Here it is, 1946 Levin Deluxe Archtop jazz guitar. What a beautiful looking instrument. I think really great looking instrument. So that's my pick of this auction anyway. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description as always. Check it out, see what you think yourself. I do think this is a pretty interesting auction, actually. It was quite kind of fun to go through it. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.